Welcome to the next episode of KapVista Klips. Today we have Jake and Luke from Aegis Capital, and we want to know all things what you're doing. And you guys are based on the other side of the world to us, but you're bringing us an opportunity that's close to home. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's get started. Tell us about the team. Tell us your story. How did the team come together, and what brought you to this point?
I'll give you a bit of a background on myself. Myself and Luke are both based in Dubai, in the Middle East. I've been here for 9 years now, predominantly be working with investors, helping them invest into overseas properties, mainly the UK, but there's been some in Australia, Berlin, the US, and here in Dubai as well. That led me into a capital raising opportunity, which is where kind of me and Luke and our third business partner, Nitin, came together and created a company. So I've known Luke for nearly 4 years now. We've been working closely together on property deals. A litigation opportunity came to our table where we could raise some money for a litigation opportunity. That brought us all together as a collective. We started to bring clients into the opportunity. And then off the back of that, we actually created a business.
Awesome. And Luke?
Bit about myself. Originally from the UK, been in Dubai now for coming up to 4 years. I own 2 financial companies in the UK in the insurance sector and a marketing company. And moved the marketing company out to Dubai because we saw a lot of opportunities to reach a different audience. And then being based in Dubai and meeting with Jake, we got involved in a lot of real estate activity, a lot of investment activity, and the litigation fund, as Jake just mentioned, brought us together. And we saw a real big opportunity to create a business where there was a gap in the market, and bring the market some products which we believe are much needed, and that's pretty much where we started. And like I say, Nitin is my business partner in one of my other businesses as well. He's a financial advisor and accountant by trade, so all the ingredients come together quite nicely, and we've got a really strong business here.
Nice. So you've got a good track record, being in the Middle East for quite a while, but showcasing, international investment opportunities to the local audience. But sourcing these deals is an interesting one. So how do you go about finding these international opportunities?
I think that's where the business is quite unique, because how we sort of came to form the business was from our investors. Our investors were always looking for alternative investment opportunities, and the Middle East is full of opportunities globally. You're in the middle of the world here, so it's almost a hub. But there's lots of opportunities out there that aren't that great. So our investors were always coming to us. They trust us. They've been working with us for a long time, and they were asking for new opportunities, unique opportunities that not everyone else has got access to. And that's kind of where we fit in, and sourcing those opportunities. Again, as Luke said, because of the ingredients of the team, we've got a very good reach. Our network is very vast, and we get a lot of opportunities coming to us where people know about our track record with our investors. It's often a business that needs some structuring, and that's where Nitin comes in, is very key. He deep dives into a business, looks into their balance sheets and put structures together to help them if they need to raise capital. And then myself and Luke come on the sort of sales and marketing side. But yeah, sourcing it can be difficult, going through the motions. It's a laborious job. It's something that unfortunately Nitin gets the task to do in detail and is very good at. Me and Luke are more excited when we see the product and we see the opportunity, for sure. But yeah, we do get some good opportunities, and we certainly look at a lot of opportunities, but we only work on 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Just to echo what you said there, Jake, is just to echo that is we do get many that come across our desk, and I think the due diligence process we go through is very intense. And that's because we know what our investors want. We know the questions that they want answered. So out of every 10, maybe one even gets through to final sign off, which is great because the investors and our clients know that we've done a lot of this legwork up front, which is very important, especially in this region. As Jake's mentioned, there's many offers out there. There's your traditional property. There's some very unusual, unique investments, and you have to make sure that, you know, when you do pick one, it's right and it's compliant. And that's one thing we're quite strict on. So yeah, we do a hell of a deep delve into what we're going to work with.
Yeah, that's very important, and that's probably what sets you apart from a lot of people doing that that deep dive and you know, thoroughly looking through the deal. You know, showcases the quality that you're bringing to the table. So we'll move into the opportunity at hand. So URBANLIFE, how did you come across them, and tell us a bit about what they're doing? Because they're local to me. They're only based in Melbourne, so you know, it's an interesting one for me.
So it's quite interesting how it came to our desk. It was almost a year ago. I think it was June last year, actually. In fact, it was June last year because it was very warm, and I remember it quite well. But essentially, the litigation fund that we've been raising capital for, the way that was structured is that money was being sent to a regulated sub-fund in Singapore called First Degree Asia. They actually approached us and said, we have a very close friend within our network, property developer in Melbourne. They're looking to do some pre-funding for some developments that they're building. Would you be interested in having a discussion? We obviously know you. You've got a good track record with raising money into the litigation fund. We trust you. So that's where the conversation started. And you know, and it's taken us a long time to get to where we're at now. And that's been, you know, a testament to our work as the due diligence that we've put into, you know, the opportunity, the developer, going over and actually seeing the sites, seeing what they're going to build, but to sort of touch on the developer themselves, URBANLIFE. We were really impressed with their passion really in the space for developing. They're a third generation developer. So grandfather, father, and now Dale Harrison, who's one of the co-founders. Very good track record. They've built across large infrastructure projects, government projects, hotel, gaming, residential. So they've done it all. And the retirement sector is something that they've wanted to get into for a long time. They're building retirement homes. So they actually started the process of developing this opportunity back in 2015 when they acquired their first part of land. But we were really impressed with everything they've got to this stage. And I think Luke will sort of echo on the sales and marketing side, how they're actually going to sell these units later down the line, and the work that they put in with companies like KPMG, you know, to do behavioural studies on the over 55s to ensure that there is a market for the product that they're selling. So we were really impressed with them as a developer, the service partners they've got on board with them, and also the balance sheet, their ability to actually be able to deliver this project and pay investors back for the pre-funding that we're helping them with.
Okay, awesome. So, you know, they've got a really good track record, a long track record, multi-generations, and they've worked on, you know, large-scale projects. So tell us about the offer. What's the offer for the funds that you're, or the pre-funding that you're looking to raise for?
So just to give a bit of context around it. So the developers bought land. They own 3 sites. Mm-hmm. They started purchasing land in 2015. Second portion of land was bought in 2016. They've gone through the process now of obtaining planning on the land to build retirement homes.
Yep.
They've also gone through the process of appointing a main contractor. They've also gone through the process of getting their development finance in place to actually build the project. Where they need some additional support is with the early works construction. Now, for them to accelerate their business and move things ahead quicker, they've come to us to help some pre-funding. Their end goal for their portfolio of retirement homes that they're building is to IPO in the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. So they're not just a developer that's building and selling and disappearing. They're selling to an end user where there's a need for the baby boomers in the retirement space, and they're retaining the assets. And they've got a long-term plan to do that over the next sort of 20 years. So, yeah, very, very good at what they do. The offering that's on the table for an investor is essentially a short-term investment opportunity. So the investment opportunity at hand is a fixed income return. So it's a 12% per annum return for an investor. The investment term is 18 months. So essentially it's an 18% return over 18 months. Mm-hmm. That money that goes in to the developer allows them to do their early works construction. Once they've done their early works construction, they can draw down their development finance and pay the investors back. So it's almost like a short-term loan to the investor to help them move their development and their project ahead of scale. It comes with a bit of a sweetener on top. So anyone that goes into the fixed income investment opportunity will also have an opportunity to convert their capital into equity and have a bigger piece of the business. The developer's willing to give away sort of 30% of their current land valuation to investors into equity. And that equity opportunity looks very, very healthy over the next 5 to 6 years. So there's two products there, essentially. There's a short-term product for investors that like to put money in, get a fixed return. That money is very secured. It goes for a regulated fund based in Singapore. And then there's a second opportunity there for equity investment or equity investors that prefer to have a longer term investment play and a bigger piece of the pie later down the line.
Awesome. Now, tell me about the momentum of the raise. How much you raised and what's that looking like?
Yeah, I think momentum's been great. So and again, testament to what we've done on the back end. There's been a lot of due diligence work that's gone into this. We have all of the information that we need to be able to speak to investors and provide information when they ask questions. So we officially launched at the beginning of February. Momentum's been great. What we have seen is we've seen two different types of investor. We've got that investor that really likes that short-term fixed income product and just wants to go in and wants to come out. Yeah. And then we've got that more sort of institutionalized investor that's looking more of a long-term play. They're not looking for a fixed income product. That doesn't really excite them because they've got multiple investments. They've got money sat in the bank that's earning them a lot of money. They're looking for, that juicy return in 5-6 years. So we've been having some really good conversations, although they've been quite different. It's a very different conversation to someone that wants to come in and come out to a conversation with someone that wants to be in long term. But the momentum's been great in terms of conversation. We've raised a good amount of money. We're close to closing our Series 1 subscription, which was a $5 million raise. And the feedback's been fantastic. Most of our investors are based Middle East and Europe. So this is why we're looking to sort of broaden our network and move outside of those locations and find new investors. But yeah, it's been really well received so far.
Yeah. It's probably worthwhile, getting investment from the local market, considering that the projects are here. And if you're based in Melbourne, you can go and have a look and check it out yourself. I was having a look this morning. Flights from Sydney to Melbourne are cheap as well. So there's no excuse.
Not from Dubai though.
Not from Dubai, not from Sydney.
14-hour flight.
Yeah, it's not nice. Yeah, one thing to add there, actually, the developer is very, very accommodating and very, welcoming. Will happily accept, potential investors to come and visit the sites. He loves to do the tour. He's very, very passionate about what he does. So, yeah, like you say, the local market is a great market for this product for sure.
Perfect.
I think to something to touch on what Jake mentioned earlier from my background, obviously sales and marketing. One of the things that I looked at with the project as well when it came across the desk was that piece after when this is built, and it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. The sales and marketing that are going to go around this is absolutely fantastic. Which also gives confidence when you're looking at something from the start to say, yeah, we can build this, but can we deliver it and can we actually sell it? And like you say as well with Jay, potentially people, investors wanting to come in and visit, they'll be blown away with what actually comes and gets built. They've left no stone unturned. Some of the technology that's being used in these homes and these apartments is out of this world, and will blow people away. So it all fits in nicely for a fantastic, raise and a company we love being involved in, and we'll spend many more trips over to see it progressing, and that's again, like Jake said, we might be 14 hours away, but we love going over there. We love being there, and as I say, if you've got local investors, and they'll be more than welcome.
Yeah,
as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, is great. The sales office and the sales suites are there. They're being developed. So you can see the construction side, and you can actually see the actual finished article as well, which is great.
Awesome. So what are you looking to raise now? You said the first parcel is almost done. What's the ask now?
So we've got another $15 million to raise. So we'll do that in another. We'll do 4 series. So we'll do 5 million parcels at a time. We've got some institutional investors that are a long way down the path now that are looking at a large investment. So yeah, we hope to get the 15 million raised within the next 6 months. And then that's the sort of total $20 million, which is 30 million Aussie dollars in total, which is around $20 million that we're raising in total.
Yeah. And then after the 18 months, if someone wants to come in for the 18 month with the exit, what does that look like in terms of the conversion? Presumably the project will be completed in 18 months, or does the financing, the building financing, the construction financing come into play then, and then it gets converted? You can have the option to convert into equity.
Yeah, so you get the opportunity to convert into equity at any time over the 18 months. Now, what the plan is from the beginning of the year, or February until July, will be the first opportunity to invest. There'll then be a revaluation. So every 6 months, there'll be a revaluation of the assets within the portfolio. So that's the 4 land sites they've got, 3 land sites and their office. So if you were to convert to equity today or within the first 6 months, you're getting a $1 Aussie per share rate. The predicted valuation in 6 months is that it's come from 100 million to 200 million. So you'll be then converting to equity at 2 Aussie dollars per share. So the earlier you convert, obviously, the better that share price will be for you. The predicted multiple over the next 5 years is they're looking at 6.5 times your money from now until 5 years' time. The funds that will be paid back to the investor over the 18 months will be used from the development finance. And then within 24 months, the first development will be built. That's around 325 units, at which point any equity investors that are in the opportunity will be paid a dividend as well. They'll receive their first dividend, and they'll then be paid a yearly dividend up until IPO, and then they can obviously freely trade their shares if they wanted to exit. So there's a big opportunity there for equity investors. We do have a nice equity document that's been put together with a calculator in there for investors to have a look and understand the opportunity in a bit more detail.
That's awesome. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll leave it at that, because we want to keep some in the tank until you can have a conversation with anybody who's interested. But what we have here is Aegis Capital, who have a long track record, at an international level, who are managing the opportunity. We've got URBANLIFE, who have 3 generations worth of building experience, working on large projects across the country, and a really good opportunity that can pay, in the short term, and, a long-term play here. So this is quite interesting for anybody looking at both short-term exits and a long-term play. It could be something also of interest for self-managed super funds, people who are looking at, 5 to 7 year play. So this is a quite an interesting one as well.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, if anybody's is interested in finding out more, I can connect you directly to the team here, and they can walk you through the offering. And if you are, interested and you want to check out the site, and then, they can connect you to the developers as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for jumping on with me. It's been great to chat, and I'm really excited to see where this offer goes.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, right. Appreciate your time. Cheers.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.